today's topic is map function. So guys, map is a function that works like list comprehension. And for loops, it is used when you need to map or implement function on various elements at the same time. So map is an iterative function which maps a collection to another collection object based on a statistical function. Let us start with an example. We have list of countries. We have a list name countries, and the name of countries are India, Japan, mm, Africa, and Italy. So it's a list. So if we use lambda function for uppercase, I want to convert these countries in uppercase, as here only the first element of these strings is in uppercase, all other elements are in lowercase. So if I am using a lambda function for uppercase, so we can do like this: lambda x all of you know that upper function can be used, and so you can understand how does it works, how lambda function can work and how upper function works. So if you want to apply a function on a single element, like lambda is a proper way to do it in a single line. What if you want to apply a function on complete list of countries? Well, one way to do this is to use for loop, and another one is using map. So if we are using for loop, so for countries in countries, uh, let's say we are using a blank list first. I'm saying a blank list name capital country. So it's a list in which we will append the values. So what I will do here, capital underscore countries dot append within f, which we have used in lambda, f, and within that country. So append function will append output of this function into the list, this capital countries. What I'm going to do here now, like if I'm doing, if I'm going to run it, list, the output will be in all capital letters. So append output of this function to the list, to this new list. This is the first way to do it, and the map utility give you a different way. By using map keyword, we will just do it in a different way. Like what we do, we just use map within the bracket function and collection of list. Like I'm putting it here. Map function collection of list which you want to apply. The collection of list is the list one which you really want to apply. So for this we will write it down like map lambda x dot upper, and the name of the list is countries function. So we can even copy it or we can write it down. Comma, name of the list is countries, this one. And we want output in the form of list. So we will put it within a brackets. Map used to map to apply a function, and list is used here to print out a list, to give the output in the form of list. See, this is how map function work, and this is the main difference between map and for loop. So we can see that in map, using map function, we can do it in a one line. So this is all about map function. Thank you for watching. Another example of use map to apply a function using a list, and the goal is here. I'm going to define a list with some integers. So this is an example of map. First, I need to define a list L1 with some integers, and integers are 2, 4 and 5. And the goal here is to have all the components of the list and how we have to have lambda and map together. Here we will have only lambda. So what we will do square of this list. And for square, we will use lambda function lambda x square. Then we will use a map function which will have function as we have function which is f square, and we will have list L1 which is collection of list. Map f square comma L1. So we will use here combination of map and lambda to apply a function. One thing notice here, that defining a function within lambda is a technique itself, and applying that function to collection of list with map is another technique to notice here. There are two separate things here and they are not necessarily combined with each other in future. So there are two techniques. One, to define a function within the lambda, and another one is using that function to collection of list with map. So if I am not using here list, like here I am not converting into list, it will show probably an error. See, so for that reason I will use list. Okay guys, so defining a function using it in map, not in lambda, to a list of collection. Now we will use a simple a function which will use only map, not the lambda. This will be another example of using map. So we are having the same list L1. So we will using the same list L1 and we will define a function here def square it within bracket n return n square. So we are having same list. We will return and we will return using this function this n square like 4, 16, 25. So now what we will do, we will use list map square it function and we will define list L1. So you should understand what is the difference between using lambda and without lambda. So here map is with user defined function, not with lambda. This is square, it is the user defined function. So let's say if I'm doing here 4, 8, 9, then how does it? You can understand it. So this is the basic difference with lambda and without lambda. I hope you got my point. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe my channel.